I wonder if there's anybody we could ask about this record. Oh!
Who's this guy?
Ask and you shall receive.
Wow.
In Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. Holy smokes, Todd, we always say you're everywhere, but you really are everywhere.
That's because I'm fat.
He's everywhere at once.
We will have no self-deprecation in this episode.
I really sit
None.
around the house.
Yeah.
Do
When
people know
I
that
told him to
joke?
haul ass, he had to make 2 trips.
I have no ass though.
So we are joined by Todd Porter from The Cheats and
Yeah.
from many other bands.
All right, let's go through the band.
Yes, over the years,
You ever hear of this band?
people are in bands and sometimes they leave and then they come back in another band and they leave and come back. Todd's never left. Todd is one of the most active musicians that I have known in my lifetime. As far as when did you start, Todd? When did you actually start?
Yeah, what was your first band?
Eviction.
Eviction was your first band?
Yeah.
And you end up, your very first band gets signed to Metal Blade.
Yeah.
That's pretty good, man.
Yeah.
That's pretty
That's
pretty
fun.
impressive. Now, what did you do before this? I mean, like, how did you...
I actually was a roadie for this band. It was a local band called Death's Vengeance. I don't know if you ever heard of it.
I remember that name.
Yeah.
Yes.
Larry, you know Larry D?
With the mustache?
He does stuff for like,
I
You
don't
know
know.
Larry with
I
the
know.
you know
mustache?
Larry, you'll know Larry.
Okay.
You
It seems like I should know him.
So, Larry DeGuela, he did a bunch of stuff around the city. He used to have, he used to do a show on PCTV.
Yes,
Gallows
I remember
Pit.
him, yeah.
Now he works for, he was a Rusted
He's a
Roots
cool
tour
dude.
manager forever.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
That I did not know.
And he had a band called Death's Vengeance, and my best friend at the time in high school played drums for him, so I was a roadie.
Okay.
But I met Larry. They were one of the first bands around here. They were doing Angel Witch covers, Motorhead covers,
Wow.
Tank covers. They were doing all this shit way before anybody else was doing stuff.
So you're talking when?
Digging deep into
80,
metal.
81.
Now, how would you even get that stuff in Pittsburgh?
They
back
didn't
then?
get it. Larry was really into sounds, like the book, the
punk
magazine,
band.
that, and like the NME and all
NME,
that,
the
all
imports,
that
the
stuff,
British
all the
imports.
British
Yeah.
imports. He was all into that stuff,
Oh.
so he knew about all that stuff. So he would buy. I think he probably bought stuff up Jim's.
Yeah, that makes sense.
So
I mean, especially the punk stuff.
yeah,
You know.
he was into all that shit, like
Yeah.
Dead Kennedys, all
Well,
that shit.
that's how I think it got around back then, was like back of the magazine
Yeah,
trading,
yeah.
or small ads, or
Yeah.
small distros or stores, right?
So yeah, long story short, I was writing for them, and that's actually where I met Robbie. That was in Eviction. We
Okay.
both had we were both underage. We both had fake IDs at a Death's Vengeance show, and that's how we met. And then years later, we met. You know, I'd see him down Ides when I go in Ides.
Yeah, so he
there.
worked before you worked there.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, this was when Northside store stuff.
Yeah.
So,
So you worked there with like Cosmo and
Cosmo worked there. Lavella worked there.
And this is where now the old
Robbie
Ides would
and
be
Argman.
across from the
Argman-
baseball.
Yeah, Argman just started working there.
Oh, he just started working
Yeah.
there. Wow.
Because I think he busted a shoplifter and Greg got him a job.
Oh,
I
okay.
think that's the. I think that's how he got a job there. Because I knew Danny. I used to call him. Danny used to have a Flying V guitar,
Nice.
and we used to call him Flying V Dan from the Rocks.
Wow.
And he used to work at.
Wow.
He used to work. I
never heard that.
He worked at the full. No. With the theater, it was a theater downtown, which now is that taco place. Taco, it's called. Right
Taco place called Taco.
Yeah, it's
So
right.
it was on Liberty Ave? Or
No,
Penn
not
Ave?
Liberty Ave. What is that? Where the Civic Light Opera shit is? You know where they have that? The Benham? Not the Benham. What's Benham Stanley? The other one.
There's not the Byam.
I am. Yeah.
The Byam Theater?
Yeah, the
Benham. And
What's the I don't know. Wherever do the opera and shit. The
Yeah.
old one. It was always there.
like the Stanley.
Where the art institute was.
Yes.
Around that corner. Remember they took that other side over.
Yes.
It was there. There was a theater down there. You would take this escalator downstairs. Aardman worked there. He looked like he did. Ben.
Yeah.
Even skinnier, and his head was big, and he had to wear a big bow tie.
Oh my god.
And he used to get me in the movies free. Yeah, this is great. Flying V Dan.
Well, Ides, like we're talking about vinyl and we're talking about history and Pittsburgh history, but Ides is internationally known. And you worked
Especially
there.
then.
It was a record store that we would all go to whenever we made our way either to Pittsburgh or into underground music, and we would make our way, we would find Ides, and you guys would be the ones that would always take us to the next level. Oh, you like Metallica? Did you check out Creator? Oh, do you check out this? Do this? So it was like, it was such a staple for Pittsburgh. People coming in, either bands coming in from out of town, everybody went to Ides to get their music, but everybody that worked there was so into it and so knowledgeable that I think it was crucial to expand the underground and the knowledge of thrash, punk, hardcore, rock and roll, garage rock, whatever it
Yeah,
was.
we always had like a good staff. Like everybody had their little specialty.
Yeah.
You know, and some of it
Yeah.
crossed over, but mostly, you wanted, you like that band. Oh, you talk to that dude. You like
Right.
that,
Right. And everybody was definitely, but everybody there was always an answer.
Oh, yeah.
And you never went there without leaving without a stack of records.
And it seemed like
So,
every subculture had its representation.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
And everyone
Yeah.
kind of got along then too. It wasn't so like these guys hang out here, huh?
Sometimes.
Well, you guys were
that.
North Side, and then you guys were Penn Avenue, and then it was
That's
where
when
it
I
is now,
started
which
working.
is
Yeah.
what, like 1111.
Where'd you
I
start?
think Penn Ave. So
Down
3 different
Penn Avenue.
locations
I
for
mean,
Ides.
Jeff Lamb was
Lot of
still
history.
there when I started down.
940.
Yeah, and I was young. I was probably 15 or 16. And I was like kind of nervous going down there because
Yeah.
I knew you guys. You guys were super cool. You didn't have to be
Yeah.
cool to me.
It was a
But,
fun job.
And everybody was in a band. Well, not everybody, but most people were in bands. You were in Eviction at the time when you were working at Ides. And
Jeff
so
Lamb.
Robbie from Eviction,
Yeah.
and
Ted from
Ron
Eviction.
and
Yeah,
Ted.
right.
Did everybody work at Ides?
Ron, everybody, yeah.
some point.
4 of us worked there at one
Okay.
time. Jeff was Jeff in Half-Life. Lavella worked there, was in Half-Life, but that was before. Max working there, he was in bands.
Yeah.
Demon Dave.
Demon Dave.
Ed Maisley.
Yeah, I would play drums for him
Yeah.
occasionally.
He was in the Frampton Brothers, and
Yeah.
who else was there? Kurt had his own little
Kurt.
band. Nitzer
Yeah,
Kurt.
Yeah, he was like the gothic,
Industrial dude.
industrial guy.
Who else? Yeah.
It's just
It was
an
a
interesting-
fun job,
I mean,
though.
There's so many weird people that come
Yeah,
from there.
yeah. We had a good time there. It was a fun job, man. It was
Yeah.
every day was an adventure.
Yeah, so many weird things happen.
You should
that
have
happen there.
You should have a podcast just about that.
That's
Yeah.
Some of that stories.
I love the old record store culture, and we actually, I know it's hard for people to believe now. I mean, we barely tasted it. Remember, the reps would come in and buy us lunch.
Oh
take
yeah,
us
I remember.
out,
I remember. Yeah, I
have
remember.
a good time. That's when record labels had
Took
a
care of
little bit
people.
of money. Like,
I remember for years it was like once or twice a week somebody's taking us out for dinner, or we could go to shows every night if we wanted to.
oh yeah,
And then your name was at the door, and then you got to the bar, and there'd be a rep from MCA, there'd be a rep from who's ever playing, and they're like, "We got your drinks tonight." We're like, "We're
Yeah.
drinking on Ricky from MCA."
Yeah.
So it's like,
yeah, and it's like
that was
that
cool
that
as
whole
hell.
culture seems
gone.
And I bet you someone like Danny Miller, who worked there for a long time, even tasted a better life. Like
yeah,
getting
yeah.
treated like he seems to be from the prime era.
Yeah, I remember when Robbie
He
first
passed,
started working.
right?
Yeah,
You
Danny
know?
passed.
Okay.
I remember when Robbie was working there, and it was before I got a job because I was where they got that. I was working at Mobile where they got their records.
Yeah.
But
A lot of people worked there.
and he had called me up. He's like, "Hey man, come on, we got passes to go here," and I just tag along. I was like, and the dudes knew me because I was at the other distributor. But yeah, it was nice, man.
Yeah.
I tell people that I was like, back in the '80s, man, it was cool as shit. Record companies took care of everything.
Yeah.
Just that money to blow.
They just would blow it. I didn't
Yeah.
get it all back.
I guess.
You know why that was? Because it was recoupable against the bands, so that's
Yeah,
why the
well,
bands
the bands
were
were paying for it. Yes.
I'm kidding.
No, that's true.
I actually.
I've been in a band. I've
So,
seen
yeah,
my.
no.
It's like,
Oh, I know, I've seen it too.
Here's
we gotta pay this back?
Oh yeah, here's your payment, negative $1,400. Wait a minute, how did I spend
we
$1,400?
Said those dudes from mine drank $1,000 worth of booze that night,
right.
so that's coming out of your royalties.
I got a
not-
royalty
Yeah,
check.
sorry, 24/7
No,
spies.
I do think that
You know, something like that.
I do think those departments were separate at the label, so I'm just making a joke about them.
Shit,
But-
we just got
About
a
they
that.
made
I'm
money
just
off
glad you
that.
guys got taken care of because you guys were really responsible for
Oh, we used to,
for
if we
selling
loved,
those
if we loved it,
records, you know?
and you know,
Holy
if
smokes.
we loved it, and we loved the label, and then you know, we'd push it. You
Sure.
know?
Yeah.
It was
I
something
remember
all
pushing
done.
a lot of bands.
Definitely.
Man, a lot of bands. Now, didn't they send you? They came up with some magical accounting, right? Like,
Yeah. Like I said, we
you want
get
to talk about that?
we get little checks every once in a while. I think for like $6 or some shit.
Yeah.
Every once in a while.
I just post them to the wall when I get checks.
Yeah,
Like,
Ted
so
takes
there's-
them. I don't know what he does with them. He probably
invests
cashes them. Yeah, I think he cashes them.
No, but didn't they try to pull? Some
They tried to
fast
say,
ones on you
yeah, they
guys?
tried to say that was never pressed on vinyl,
And you're selling it, like,
and we're
you're
selling it at the record. So we're like, no, it's on vinyl. Oh no, it's not. So
And you
Labels.
probably were responsible, you know, being that it was a big release. I mean, when I think of it too, when it got released, I think specifically of a Metallica calendar where Jason Newsted was wearing an eviction shirt.
Yeah,
it was a sweatshirt.
yeah,
am I right?
He
They
stole,
were, you know?
he stole that off of. I think he stole it off of Lars, because I think Lars had it.
Gotcha.
But
gotcha.
we were actually kind of friends with Kurt, so from Ides. He came in Ides, and we were like,
Exactly.
Super nice.
yeah.
He
But,
was the coolest one.
Yeah.
Kurt Hammond.
Long story short, another band from New York called School of Violence would come down and play. Their roadie, Pyro Pete, who was originally the Plasmatics roadie. If you ever watch the old Plasmatics videos and see some dude with a mohawk, like giving her like dynamite and
Nice,
shit,
nice.
doing all pyro.
That
That's
Pyro
him.
Pete. Nice.
So anyway,
What a job.
Long story short, they stay at our house. He calls us up and he says, "Hey, I'm coming in town. I'm roadie for Metallica." This was on the Injustice for All tour, and he's like, "I got a friend with me. Do you guys still go to Shea Kimberly's and drink?"
Yeah.
Shea Kimberly's was a gentleman's club.
Yes.
You know, so. But we used to go there just because we were in a band and we blow our money on booze, so we never had food, but they'd feed us. The owner would like make chili and we go there for dinner like every day, and she'd just feed us.
Yeah.
So he's like, "You guys still go to Shea's?" We're like, "Yeah." So he rolls in with Kurt Hammond, and it was like a 4-day weekend, just crazy.
Yeah, he was.
Yeah, he was a nice dude.
He
We're
was
driving
very
around,
nice.
driving around in Jerry Flagg's pickup truck in the back, drinking, and he was like, "This is crazy." I'm like, "What?" He goes, "I don't know. We're sitting in the back of a pickup truck, drinking Tall Boys in the middle of Pittsburgh," and like people, that's when they were just gonna break, and people were like, "You look like that dude Metallica," and he would be like, "Yeah, I get that all the time."
He was actually a really cool guy. He was the coolest.
Oh
of
yeah,
all
he
of
was the
them.
coolest dude, man.
Yeah.
Cool as hell. And then after that tour, after that, we still stayed in touch, and then it just, I don't know.
Yeah.
It was really weird. Like I met Hetfield in the elevator, and he was all weird at first, and then like, as soon as like Kurt said something to us, then he was like, "Oh, yeah, I guess we were okay." You know what I mean?
Oh, it's cool to talk to.
Yeah. So
Kind of strange too, because again, you guys were instrumental with what you did, not just being in bands and being lovers of the music, playing within the genre, of turning so many people on to that band.
we
Yeah,
tried.
right.
So it's kind of
right.
interesting, yeah,
So
how
many.
that kind of works.
Now, how do you
You know?
feel about like the times now with the internet and stuff like that, as opposed to being in a band in these times? Do you find it easier to reach people now?
Oh hell yeah.
Yeah,
Reach
I mean,
people on one
you have
click.
to. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like,
Yeah, that dude.
you probably have people from around the world going.
Yeah.
Like,
I don't know, man. People gave us shit all the time, but we pushed our band back in the day, man.
Mm-hmm.
Flyers constantly, doing, little networking and everything.
Yeah.
It's like, we got a lot of shit for it, but we try, it was our
why would you get shit for it?
a lot of jealousy, I guess.
Yeah, that type of thing.
Yeah, that
People
type
didn't
of
want to
thing.
put the. People also realize, being in a band, whether it's your
work.
living or not, it's a lot of work,
was
and it's a
work.
lot of work beyond
Shit,
practicing
I
in the
think-
basement.
Yeah.
I think we
You know?
practiced 3 nights a week for hours.
Yeah.
dude.
Sure. Some people think
Yeah.
you just strap a guitar on, and next thing you know, you're super.
And they wait, and they think people would think that the labels and whatever resources they needed were going to come to them,
Yeah, it
which is
wasn't.
ridiculous.
And we had
know?
it beat already because we already knew the ins and outs of working in a record store.
Yeah,
you know?
right.
We knew how
Right.
shit worked.
Yeah.
You know.
You had to put effort. You had to let people know.
You know.
But
Pushing-
nowadays, It's so different.
Oh, it is different.
Well, this also, just going back full circle too, before we talk about the cheats, there have been many bands in between too for Todd.
Great
But
bands.
this was re-released.
Just
This
re-released
was
on Heaven and Hell.
reissued.
And all the
So-
demos were re-released on CD too.
Yeah.
But before that,
vinyl.
on vinyl, yeah, My Cure released.
Can I just say that I went to, I was at a thrift store, and I saw 2 eviction demos, and you know what they had on those? At a thrift store.
For free.
$100 for 2 eviction cassette demos. And they sold. Because when I went back, they were gone. Someone
every
spent $100 on 2 eviction cassettes. They're probably sitting in my apartment right now, like, just laying around.
Yeah,
I have all
I don't
those
have.
old
I don't have
tapes.
anything.
I have the old
You know what
eviction
my
tapes.
problem is? I just give stuff away.
Yeah.
I'm like,
I've got the time.
I get it again.
Yes.
I'll get it again. I have.
Yeah,
You know, I'm in a
yeah.
band.
For sure.
Yeah.
You never, and
I
then you
miss a
see
lot of
somebody
it.
else that wants to be like, well, I got this. You're like, give me.
Give me.
Yeah.
Give me
I
my
don't
stuff.
care.
Well, I always
You know what?
liked local stuff. You know, I got the Shape of Rage. I got ones and two. You know,
I love Chamber Rage.
that Shape of Rage is great.
That was a good band. That was a fun party, man.
Oh, they were great. Gaullist.
Call us. There's another one worked at Odds.
I
He
was
worked
gonna
at Odds.
say, yes,
Greg
he
Gaullist.
did. Yep, I remember
Gaullist.
that as
He's
being
a legend.
Gaullist got in
patron-
trouble one time,
a
like
patron of Odds.
they were talking about Nirvana on the radio.
Oh,
one time.
this is
Remember
so
that?
great.
And then he's like, they were
Because-
saying Nirvana wanted to be somebody, wanted to be Tad or some weirdo, and he fucking called up the radio station. He was like, Nirvana wanted to be the fucking Melvins.
Yeah.
And they were like, and then the dude was on the radio. He's like, Greg Gaullist just called and said the Nirvana wanted to be.
And Greg, I
Greg
heard
was
it.
like, "What are you
You're
doing on the
wasting time on my
phone?
clock."
Yeah, what are
It
you
was on
doing on the
DVE.
phone? Yeah, or
He got the store mentioned on DVE, which is great advertisement. He's like, "Your dog."
Your dog. What are you doing on the phone,
Like Greg Gaullist from
dude?
Our
I'll tell you, we
Entertainment.
got some stories about that
Dude,
joint, man.
I
I mean,
think that's exactly why now some people do not offer, or unless you offer, you call into like a corporate, more
Yeah.
corporate radio show. They won't ask where you're calling from unless you offer that information for that reason, because the boss is tuning in and they're like, "What the hell are you doing?"
There's all
like
kinds of
that
weird
2-minute
shit
phone
like that,
call
like-
really
the
like
stories
affected
could go
progress.
on. There could be a
The
podcast.
Argman with the Clutch single. Did you ever know that?
Oh, I don't know.
We just the new Clutch, the first Clutch record came out, and there's a song on there in the middle of the song. He's like, "Hey, motherfucker, come on, motherfucker, come on, motherfucker, let's throw it down," like that, right? And we're all like, "Ooh, this is kind of cool." And we're all grooving. Rosie runs up from the basement, and like we hit it. Like as soon as we see him come out, we hit it. We turn it off, and like it was a cassette, so we hit fast forward real quick.
Yeah.
And he was like, "What was that?" We're like, "We don't know what you're talking about." He's like, "They said the MF word," and we're like, "No, they didn't." He's like, "Yes, it is." So he was trying to get there.
He
He
was
was
trying to
trying to
rewind
rewind it and trying to find it. We're
Trying
like,
to bust
"See,
it.
I told you." And he was just like, "Ugh," got all frustrated and went downstairs. And right after he went downstairs, it got real quiet. And the ARG man looked at me. He goes, "Come on, motherfucker, come on." Okay.
Re-release Eviction.
Heaven Hell Records. They also
Hell
did the
Records.
demos on CD.
And now I'm in the cheats. So
Yeah.
that's full circle.
And the cheats have been around for how
Since
long
2001.
now? 2001. Different
Wow,
different
that's a long
lineups,
time.
different formats, different records.
I think this is the longest I've been in a band ever. And it was supposed to be a
That's 19
it was supposed to
years.
be a side project.
So yeah, and with the awesome lineup that you have now, do you want to talk about just quickly how you formed with these guys? Because you've got, well, a newer Pittsburgher, and then you have someone who doesn't live in town. So there you go. So
Yeah.
these dudes came along.
We got Devin, who I met years ago at when the Cheats opened up for Mike Monroe in Cleveland. He was from Atlanta. I met him there. And then I have a thing with Atlanta. I have friends down there, so we go down there all the time. And we started bullshitting there, and he was like, "I gotta get out of Atlanta." And I'm like, "Hey," jokingly, I said, "if you ever want to be in the Cheats, come to Pittsburgh, I'll be in the
came
band."
out.
And
Does
next
he,
thing you
what
know,
do you think of Pittsburgh?
he loves it here more than anywhere, and he'll tell you that. He's
Now,
like,
do you guys play the Claremont down there?
No, but he loves the Claremont.
Oh, yeah.
But like,
played there, yeah.
we play the Star Bar,
Yeah, that's a favorite
which
place, yeah.
now my really good friend owns it. So it's cool.
Interesting.
We play there every Halloween, like because they can do a huge Halloween parade.
Nice.
And we play there the Friday night before. And Rob, our other guitar players from Cleveland, back in 2008, we had a management company working with, and they managed Rob's band, who Rob's a lot younger than us, but he was in a band. He was, their singer was 8 years old, and he was the oldest kid in the band. I think he was 18. 8 years old, dude.
Like Old Skull. Remember?
Yeah, I think they were like 18, 16, like, their uncle was in a band from Cleveland called the Teenage Knockouts,
Okay.
who put out a couple 45s and everything, and he passed away, and they got together just to do a tribute band. They were playing Teenage Knockout songs.
Oh, that's cool.
So, and then they started, and they got picked up. They opened up, they played a bunch of shows with Motorhead and everything. And I met him then because we had the same management company, and we'd always stay in touch because I go to Cleveland a lot, and I'd see him. We like the same stuff, and I was like, "He's playing anymore?" He's like, "No, none of the guys play anymore. I'm always looking for somebody."
Huh.
And I said as a joke, I'm like, "Well, if you ever want to be in the Cheats, let me know." He's like, "I'll be in the Cheats."
Yeah.
And I'm like, "Okay, can you make it to practice 2 times a month?" And he's like, "Yes." And I'm like, "Okay, then you're in." And then we were going, this was last year, 2 years ago, and then we were going on tour, and I needed a bass player. And I'm like, "I know you don't play bass. You want to play bass for the tour?" Because our bass player couldn't do it.
Yeah.
He was like, "Yeah, I'll do it." Week before the tour, we played that AC/DC show, and I kicked out the guitar player
Yeah.
that night.
Yeah.
So I was like, "Oh
was
shit, oh shit, I need a guitar player." I was like, "I'll call Rob up, ask him to switch to guitar,"
Yeah.
and then called our old guitar player, bass player Tito, and I'm like, "You want to go out on tour?" And he was like, "Yeah." He knew the songs already, so yeah.
Yeah, Tito's
And it's been
cool.
like that thing, and Phil's back, and so it's good.
Yeah,
It's just been lined up about 2 years. Kyle's been in a bunch of bands. Yeah, Phil's been in a bunch of bands. Phil was in like a Thunderfest. Yeah, but I'm happy. New records.
Well, congratulations.
Screamacrow.com.
Nice.
And what else? Oh, and the CD is different than the album. The CD has a bonus track, which is an Iron City House Rockers song,
Oh, yeah.
Junior's Bar.
Nice. Good.
Awesome.
That's good.
And you guys played that
Excellent.
at the Super Suckers show. Am I right?
We played it badly at the Super
I
Show.
I did not think it was.
It
I
was
thought
badly.
it was great.
It was bad.
Nice. Well, congratulations.
Well, thank you.
Earlier, Todd, we were getting into some recent things that we picked up or that we are sort of plugging that's out now. I know you've got some stuff on your turntable, so what are you listening to?
Yeah,
Tell
a
us.
lot of it. I don't know if it's. Some of it's not new. Some of it is, but it's stuff that I've been listening to lately.
And you've been collecting records for how long now?
Since I was a little kid,
Yeah.
I can,
You never gave up on vinyl.
No, I
know
never
that for a
get.
fact.
You know what? There was a time when I sold a bunch of vinyl because I did something stupid and needed a bunch of money.
Yeah, that's the.
But
time.
this was in the early '90s, and
Sure.
I sold some shit.
A lot of people did.
But all the CD thing, I kind of slacked a little bit buying vinyl, and I got tons of stuff on CD. But then I'd always buy vinyl if it there's certain things I liked. I'd actually buy it on vinyl.
Sure.
But recently, the stuff that some of it's old, some of it's new. Stuff I've been digging lately.
Some of it's borrowed, some of it's blue.
Yeah. Here's a record. Broken Bottles. Ever heard of this?
Not hip.
They're old school kind of skate kind of punk band. Singer passed away a couple years ago. It's kind of like early, maybe Social Distortion,
Okay.
but with like Jess the Mess, that's the singer, has this real weird kind of whiny vocal thing. That's
Okay.
kind of dig. And the songs are great. There's my favorite song on this record. There's 2 favorite songs. One's Kelly Osbourne. It talks about making a porno with Kelly Osbourne. That's cool. And then one of my favorite things when I DJ at the Tiki, I always play. It's called Gothic Chicks. It's kind of like my era growing up in the punk rock thing in the early '80s, and all the punk rock dudes love the Gothic Chicks because they, the black hair and the fucking, it just look cool, So I Broken Bottles record on TKO.
Yeah.
So I love that
interesting.
record. These guys broken up. They
Yeah.
were one of my favorite fucking bands. Great glam punk rock and roll. The Biters. Tuck, the singer, has a new band called Tuck Smith. And I don't know, man. But this is my favorite record. Every
I know
song
of
on,
them because of you. You always
every
put
song
them
on here is fucking killer. Just Cheap Trick meets like, you know, rock and roll. It's fucking good as hell.
And
Love
what
this
year?
fucking
What
band.
year is that from?
It's only a couple years old. I don't know. They got signed to a major label and it fucked them and they broke up.
Oh, they
But
signed to a major.
They signed to Earache.
Oh,
And they got fucked.
to
But-
Earache. Interesting.
Yeah. But they got a bunch of records out. This has all the good songs on. I'll chew it up. That one's good.
Nice.
So after they broke up, it's another one band I like. Ravagers. They now the guitar player for this band was from the Biters, Matt, but he's not on this record. And the singer Alex, he actually did the Cheats record cover. So these dudes are just
Oh, he did that cover.
yeah. So these
Let's
guys.
see what you got in there. What color vinyl you got? I saw them once
it's red.
live, and they killed it.
Yeah, these dudes
They
kill it, man.
shocked me. They go deep on their covers.
Oh yeah, they
did,
do weird shit.
I think they did. I ain't got time enough for love or something
Yeah,
like
yeah,
that.
yeah.
One of
They
those.
do.
And they killed it, man.
They do a Ruts song now. I think they've been doing that.
Oh.
And on here it's a cover. They do a cool cover of Class of Newcomb High.
Yeah.
They did a cover of
That's
that,
cool.
which was supposed to be in the movie, I guess. But like, they got the okay to do it, and then once it got recorded, and they went and talked to the dude with Lloyd Kaufman. I guess he blew all the money and
Wow.
they weren't allowed to use it or they couldn't put it in the movie.
They're great.
So
live.
these dudes are great. They're great live.
Oh,
Great
yeah.
dudes. Another band from New York. Love these guys. The Wildlife, same thing. Kind of. I'm into a lot of like weird kind of poppy, you know, Cheap Trick style kind of sing along shit. Wildlife. They got a new record out. That's on my turntable right now. I didn't feel like taking it off. This is the first record. It's really good. You know, great vocals, great songwriting.
Look at that vinyl on there.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Nice color.
Green.
That's cool.
Neon.
But
What
yeah.
label is that?
I think this was their own label. Now they're on Little Steven's label.
Oh, okay.
The last two records were on the Little Steven's record label, but they're really good. Another one of my great band I like that's new, Jonesy.
Yeah.
You ever heard of these dudes? They're from Canada.
Okay.
Totally cool. Great fucking like Ramon style punk rock and roll.
Yeah.
Great. I buy copies of this to give to people. That's how much I like it. And
That's a sign of a great record.
yeah, I'll see it somewhere. I'm like, this dude, he needs a Jonesy.
Yeah.
So, yeah, and these dudes are crazy. This one came out on Deadbeat Records out of
Yeah,
Cleveland.
it's a great label.
And they never put nothing out on CD. Only time you can hear a Jonesy thing, they put 7 inches out and vinyl.
Oh, they don't
And
even
that's
stream it.
They don't even stream it.
Oh, that's cool.
They don't even put download cards. They don't do.
I tried to get
Wow.
some for the store, man. They're tough. They're tough to get. They don't sell a lot.
Yeah,
They don't
yeah,
sell
it's
pretty
good.
quick. Yeah, look.
Great. The other two records, these are old ones, but they are my favorites. Zodiac Mind Warp and The Love Reaction.
Yeah, you love them.
I love them. It's a real weird cult. There's a bunch of us that like it. Like
Yeah.
this.
And
But-
how would you describe their music? Because I always have a hard time.
It's not metal. It's not. It's just.
I mean, it's like drum machines, right?
No. That was later shit was. This
The
is
later
just,
shit was.
This is just total debauchery rock and roll.
So that doesn't have drum machines? Okay. I
No,
remember
that's when they had the
listening
band. I always dug their look, man. They were one of the first bands to like look like dirty fucking bikers and shit. You know what I mean? So they had a cool look. Videos were always cool. Great song, fucking Prime Mover, great song. Backseat Education, great song. Tattoo Beat Messiah.
Yeah, I remember that.
That's just great. So you have to Mind Warp and A Love Reaction.
I remember buying a T-shirt at Ides, and
Zodiac
it
Mind Warp?
was yes, but it just said Mind Warp on it.
Really?
You were just like,
So
wow,
I don't know
cool.
where the heck
Yeah,
you
no,
guys
where?
got it,
I don't know.
but it was $5, and I was like,
Maybe it wasn't
as
this-
Max would
we-
say, yoink. And I was like, I got it.
And this
My
is real-
Mind Warp, not
this
my
is really-
Zodiac Mind
This
Warp.
is really weird.
T-shirt.
This record, is one of my all-time favorite records. You know, I saw this band live when I was a kid, and it like totally hooked me.
Yeah.
They were the fucking gods.
See, you saw that band?
Yeah, I saw them. It was Gods and Angel.
That's great.
It was at the Stanley Theater for $1 or $2. DV put a DV concert.
Because those are bands you always see the records and you don't know how to react to them.
These dudes were totally fucking nuts.
And I heard they rocked.
They were
hard
fucking
live.
crazy. Like their fucking bass player Eric Moore, who just passed away last year. They were gonna do a reunion. I was going to it. They're from like around Akron area.
Okay.
I was gonna go to it, and he passed away, and they canceled it.
That's a shame.
But
Now they weren't on Casablanca.
yes, they were. This was on
they were on
Casablanca.
Casablanca also.
Yeah, they were on Casablanca.
Okay.
These dudes were fucking crazy maniacs. They were actually biker dudes, man. They were fucking crazy shit. Bass player wore his bass down past his fucking knee.
Yeah, and
Totally nuts.
Where are you saying they're from? What
They're
part
from
of-
like Akron, kind of Ohio. But they were just fucking nuts, dirty, fucking crazy. You have this record, man?
I don't have that record, no.
Did you ever listen to it?
No, I've heard tracks off of it, possibly on compilation tapes that somebody would
You
make.
gotta this
I never
record.
delved deep enough
This
into it
record.
to say that I know. Yeah.
I can't stress it enough, man. It's just fucking great rock, 70s fucking rock.
And how old were you when you saw them?
Probably high school. Probably.
So you were
8th or
like the
9th
male
grade.
version of the movie Foxes. Did you ever see the movie Foxes?
Yeah,
Where they
yeah.
go see Angel?
Yeah.
I saw the trailer for the movie Foxes, and I had no idea Angel
Yeah,
was in.
Angel's
So
in
do
it,
they
yeah.
show clips
Yeah.
of?
But it's
Angel
only
playing?
like maybe 2
Yeah.
years.
Yeah. But these dudes
Wow.
were nuts, man. They
But
were like,
I always
Wow.
hear like, well, they stuck around for a long time.
yeah,
right?
they did like 2 on Casablanca, but the cover was done by a kid I went to the Art Institute with. Because he knew I liked them, and he graduated Art Institute, and he calls me up, and he's like, hey, man, you know that band of Gods you like? I'm like, yeah. He goes, I just did their record cover.
Wow.
I think it was called like
And what was it?
Mongolians or something.
Okay. And where
The
would
first
you say
2
start?
records.
To start with the first,
First
two.
2 records. The one dude was in a band called Charm City Rockets or some shit, maybe like something like that. But this God records, it's great.
And what would
There's
you
a
compare
cool
it
ass
to?
rap. I don't know, it's just like 70s kind of rock, man. There's like he does a cool ass rap and fucking where's it at? Fucking Gotta Keep Her Running song. The last song, Gotta Keep Her Running. There's
Yeah.
this total bass breakdown, and he does this rap talking these like crazy shit like everybody's some kind of junkie, and there's booze junkies, sex junkies, music junkies. We're all junkies, but the gods are rock and roll junkies.
Yeah.
You know, it's fucking crazy, man. You gotta hear it. It's fucking, the record is
Yeah,
fucking
I'm
incredible.
sold. I'm sold.
Yeah.
So that's my favorites. There's other stuff, but
Of course, it would never end.
yeah, it was never.
end.
Dude, I was like having.
I love
I
records.
got
Look, you
too
can grab
much.
every record.
Yeah, I got.
Anytime you
too
tell
much.
someone bring 3 to 5 records, you always end up with at least 10.
Yeah.
It's all right. That's the way it goes.
I love it. Thank you.
Yep,
That's
thanks, man.
interesting.
Thanks for
Learned a
that.
lot. Learned a lot about that. Yeah. The Gods are definitely one of those bands.
You gotta buy that first fucking.
I probably
and it's
haven't,
weird,
but-
man. You gotta listen to it, man.
Is it
Yeah,
in
you're
this
not the
building
first person
somewhere?
to say that.
Could we find it in this
I
building
think it's
somewhere,
probably in
maybe?
this
Because
building.
I think we're gonna fight over it now. So like, either
Play
that
it.
or we're gonna.
We'll play this one right before.
And
we
you know what's
leave.
Yeah.
cool about the Angel logo, right?
Yeah, you never know that. You know, Angel.
You ever
Yeah,
see the Angel?
yeah. Well, I think of King Fowley from Deceased, who is
Yeah.
one of the biggest Angel fans
Yeah.
I know, and Brian Ballich, Butch Ballich from
Me and Butch
Argus,
used to talk about
right?
Angel all the time.
And Penance. So yeah, no, I never.
But do you know
delved-
anything?
Do you know anything about the logo?
The logo?
Do I need to look at it and see if I can guess? Or
Yeah,
this
let me.
was okay,
Hold
all
on one
right.
second. I'll be right back. Keep
Yeah, it was
them
one of those
entertained.
bands where Butch would be like, if you like this and you like that, you gotta. I mean, such
Yeah,
big
me and
fans,
Butch,
you know?
because they got back together with Punky Meadows, a guitar player,
Mm-hmm.
and me and Butch like were texting each other the whole time.
Of
Did you
course
hear
you
this?
are.
Did you hear
Yeah.
that? Did you hear this? Oh
Of
my
course,
god! You know.
for sure. Huge fans.
Yeah, like all that. Like
They
especially
say
if I
Gods,
saw
I
a
don't know
band.
where I don't know where I came across it. Like, is it? I'm thinking compilations or somebody played it. I can't put
Now
my
you know
finger on
Punky
it.
Meadows is going to be on Eric Jackson's
Oh, is he
radio
really?
show this
Oh, really?
week. Yeah.
Ah, really?
So what do you think
What
about
do you
that?
think of that?
All right.
What do you notice about it?
okay. I need a hint as to where I'm going with it. Am I like a reaction? Because I see
wait,
10
look at
things.
it.
Well, let's see.
Let's see, yeah.
Well, why would it be reversed?
Wait a minute. What do you mean reversed? What do you mean?
I mean, do you see the reflection in the cover? Flip it upside down.
Oh, wait a minute. Wait a minute. No.
Yeah. That's cool, right?
Wow. No, I never knew that.
That's what I knew. That's the only thing I knew about him as a
It
kid.
doesn't even look like that's possible, but it's altogether possible. So can I show the? All right. So check
You
this
show
out.
him on the back.
You show them on the back just once.
Yeah, I was gonna say this is. I'll try to flip the screen, guys, because it obviously, boom, boom. Yeah, no, I never knew that. I'm looking for all kinds of hidden messages and meanings.
It was
and I never
crazy
even
when I
thought
went to
about
that. When I
would
went
be
to that show, the Gods come out. They played first,
Yeah.
and they were like total dirty fucking bikers. You know, spitting beer, just
Yeah.
no shirts on, all hairy chest. They had like a keyboard player. He's underneath the keyboards, just playing. It was on like a cart. He's going nuts, dude. Like, yeah, we're fucking yeah. And then
We're fucking
they, you know, we're just crazy. And then that was over. And then Angel come out. Everything fucking white. Everything pristine.
They're like the different.
You know,
Yeah.
and they came out, and it was weird. They came out, and like that logo on the back, that big A with the angel face on.
Sure.
Who designed that was Sid and Marty Krofft, who did Pop and stuff.
crazy.
Really?
They designed that, so it was this big thing in back of them,
Yeah.
and they had a projection of it, so the face moved and talked.
Wow.
And he was like, "Welcome, children," and like all this stuff.
Were
And he
you
was talking.
freaking out?
He was talking about like, "You brought these guys together, the lovely, you know, from the heavens and all this shit." And as they were doing that, the roadies were coming out with these boxes and building these boxes, you know, on stage.
Sure.
And then when they would say, "So and so, you, my son, will think," and it would like the boxes would light up. They would look like a frosted image of like a guy standing there.
Yeah.
And then they'd bust out of the box when every time whoever was called.
Jeez.
That's awesome.
Were you
Yeah.
going, was it bananas? You must have been going nuts.
Yeah, we were going nuts.
Yeah.
You know, there was all fog. It
And
was
you were
all
just like,
white, and
"Yes!"
they were all in white too. So like the whole
Yeah.
stage was like looked like heaven. And yeah, it was all crazy, dude.
Crazy.
And then Greg Trujillo, who played keyboards, had a couple of hits.
Yeah, he's probably the most
Yeah.
successful.
Yeah,
Was
and
it Call to Your Heart? Was that one of the radio? Was that one
yeah, I
of
don't
the
know, it was
MTV?
one of
Like,
them.
yeah.
Yeah.
I saw them open up for
They opened up for tons of people, man.
Cheap Trick.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then the other dude, Punky Meadows, guitar
Jafria, that
player.
is. Not Angel.
The guitar player, Frank Zappa has a song about him
Yeah.
called Punky Whips.
Okay.
Because he's like a, you know, good-looking dude, you know.
Yeah.
He said Punky Whips, and the song was about how Terry Bozzio, the drummer from Zappa, fell in love with a picture of him. That's what the song's about.
Wow. Bizarre.
But yeah, they were good, man. Like, headlining Stanley Theater was cool. And then I saw him open for like Foreigner or something. And it was like, at
They
the
couldn't
arena.
be themselves.
And it wasn't, it wasn't as good.
I'm
but
sure
like
it
in that
was
small
definitely-
fucking thing, it was
yeah.
fucking nuts.
Yeah.
You know, especially as a kid, it was, you know, I was going to shows, but that was like the first one. I was like, oh my God.
Well, they had the command of the whole show
Yeah.
too, and the creative control.
Yeah.
And they had tons of money at Casablanca at that time. To really
I saw some
promote
great
those bands.
fucking
I mean,
shows.
all that P-Funk
Yeah.
money and all the Kiss money, obviously.
Great
Right.
shows at the Stanley Theater. It was a great place to see
Yeah,
fucking
my
shows.
older brothers and sisters used to.
Saw UFO there. The fucking
Nice.
so loud the ceiling caved in.
Really?
Right, a piece of the ceiling fell out.
Get out.
Robbie T still has a piece of ceiling, and he wrote on it UFO and the date and everything. Ask him about it next time you
That's
see him.
amazing.
I saw who was it? It was the Babies, which is one of my favorite all-time bands.
Really? John Waite.
John Waite's my favorite singer of all time.
Missing You.
I love that song. But
That's a
like,
great song.
but
I
you know,
love
Change. But John Waite,
Really interesting.
I love the
Yeah.
Babies. He's my favorite. Him and Rod Stewart are my favorite singers.
Wow.
And Bon Scott.
it. I mean,
But-
that all makes sense.
But I wish I could sing like that. But the Babies were opening for Triumph. Okay, at the Stanley Theater. And if you ever see Triumph, they used the whole front of their stage used to be like light bulbs and shit.
Okay.
So the Babies were playing. Something must have happened where like they were pissed Triumph off or Triumph pissed them off.
Okay.
John Waite was singing, and as he was singing, he was just
He's
kicking
kicking.
out the fucking light
man.
bulbs.
punk.
Oh,
And then next thing you know, roadies come on stage and a fucking fight
Wow.
and shit.
Did they fight?
Yeah, they fought right on stage. The
That's
curtain
so
closed and shit. Yeah, it was crazy.
John Waite.
Yeah.
Wow. The Babies.
yeah. How about it?
I never knew, like, I don't know. I never heard of anyone say I was a Babies fan.
Was When I See You Smile? Who was that? Was that Bad English?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's the song.
That you think is in the.
Yeah,
well, it
it's
makes
in the-
sense. Smile, dentist, teeth.
Yeah.
Perfect. I like it. Chompers.
There goes I'm taking my punk rock and roll card now. It's just like,
No, I love
There's
it.
nothing
I
more
love it.
punk. There's nothing more punk or more rock and roll than being like, I like fucking Bay City Rollers or
I
whatever.
love
it
Bay City
is.
Rollers
Yep.
shit. I love all that
I love
weird
it.
Yeah.
shit
yeah.
like that, man.
I mean, it's also like a lot of things. You know, it's a stepping stone. If it's rock based or if it's just music and you're a kid and you pick it up, and it's interesting seeing how your taste, sort of crosses over as a kid. You know, I was buying this, but I was also buying this.
Oh,
It's
yeah,
like,
yeah,
I
I'd buy
bought-
weird shit,
I
you
bought
know?
Bay City Rollers, but I bought Circle Jerks. You know what I mean? It's just kind of interesting how that all. It still gets you. You know, I think if you're gonna paint yourself in a box, at some point you're gonna break out of it, or you're going to just
Well, no one starts.
the box
I mean,
will collapse on you
you
eventually.
know,
Kiss was my big stepping stone, man. Once I got into Kiss when I was a kid, the friend I used to always hang out with. I had a tendency to hang out with like older dudes.
yeah.
Like I'm in like I don't know 7th grade. I'm hanging out with like seniors in high school and shit. So it was always weird, and it was always like I'd start hanging out with like somebody's brother, and then all at once like. Oh, his older brother has these cool records and shit. So I just
Yep.
would like start
Right.
migrating there. Next thing I know,
Yep.
the one be like, "Hey, you want to go out and like play Army?" No, I'm gonna listen to this Deep Purple record with your brother, dude. I don't
Yeah,
fucking-
right.
You know?
We've been having fun, but we're not that pissed off tonight.
Yeah, it's a good
No. We thought we were going to be completely ticked off and talking about our picks this week, which are our favorite ticked off sounding songs or songs that imply people being ticked off, angry lyrics, things like that. Obviously, there are a ton of them, especially with the type of music that we're all into. Although I think every genre's got its own ticked off songs. So we decided that's what we're going to do.
So let's let our guest start us off.
What do I
Mr.
go to when
Porter.
I'm pissed off? I gotta have something like.
Yeah, what
a
do you
lot of
listen to?
aggression.
What do you dial up?
One of my
whenever
first
you're
things I like to
freaking?
hear, the first Metallica record. A lot of aggression, love this record. Makes me mad.
Any tracks in particular?
No, I like it all.
Yeah, it's
do you
pretty
The whole
much start
record.
to finish.
By
Yeah.
the end of the record, though, I'm spent. I'm not mad anymore. I'm like, oh, that's cool. Just my neck hurts from headbanging. I
Yeah,
can't do
it gets it out of you.
It gets it out.
Good. Yeah, it's a great record.
Yeah.
I mean, it's
Classic,
a classic for a
classic,
reason.
classic.
Right.
All right, Mary.
All right, I'm gonna go with now. I think I'm a big fan of 7-inch records. All right, so I actually pulled 7-inch records, and these all, except for one, have a Pittsburgh basis to them. So I'm gonna start with Submachine from Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. This is the first 7-inch they put out, Mindless Device, and specifically the song Corruption is the song that I like to dial up. But there are so many Submachine songs that would fit the bill for this. But Corruption is very fitting for the time. I suggest you look it up. It's very hard to find this 7-inch now. You might be able to find it on Discogs. Check your local record stores. See if you can pull it up. This was released in 1991, and let's see here. We've got all the tracks are awesome, but again, Corruption was the one I'm thinking about. I think it kind of speaks for itself from the title. It's usually a set ender for them still to this day. Gets everyone whipped up into a frenzy, and it's great. So I am picking the Submachine first 7-inch Mindless Device. Highly recommended. Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania.
All right. There were so many to choose from. I mean, there's records I couldn't find that one to play. Like I had some Electric Eels and the Dicks Hate the Police I wanted to bring, but I couldn't find my copy of that. But one band I always listen to when I need to listen to some aggression is one of my favorite bands. Australian band, called The Scientists, and this is an EP which has some of my favorite, most aggressive songs by them, including Murderess in a Purple Dress, which to me is pretty much kicks ass. But there's 3 other songs on here that are great. It's just a good stoogey type of swampy, pissed off Aussie punk, and it gets me every time when I'm feeling pissed off. Go ahead.
Another record. Attitude Adjustment. If you like thrashy kind of punk rock, I suggest this. Grey World, great fucking song. Songs are under a minute, some are even less. Great, fast, fucking rock and roll, punk rock. I guess a couple guys maybe went on to be Machine Head, I think maybe.
What year is that?
I don't know, 88 maybe.
Okay.
No, maybe it's 90s maybe.
Does that have a Pusshead cover?
Yeah, it's on Pussmore Records.
Oh, okay.
So, I don't know, no fucking years, dude. I know no years. I don't even fucking know.
When it's timeless, who needs
It
it?
is
Here?
time.
I don't know that record.
This
at
record
all.
is, I
would
turn
like
people
to
on. This is
know it.
another record I turn people on to. The singer fucking Andy was a crazy nut job, man.
Yeah.
Jumping all around. Like I said, some of
Yeah.
the songs are like 25 fucking seconds.
Yeah.
Grey World, Dope Fiends, fucking great. Song about drinking and driving, fuck Chuck. Dead Serious is a great song. Johnny, this band actually was one of the first bands who did stuff about Johnny Get Your Gun, the famous Metallica took one from.
Yeah.
These guys had a song called Johnny, and it's about Dalton Trumbull book.
Wow.
And yeah, they actually their logo used to be a peace sign with a Dalton Trumbull soldier in it for like the longest time.
crazy.
They're like hard, fast peace punks, but it's, and like I said, it's on fucking Pusshead's label. He did, so he always did fast shit.
Yeah.
So, Attitude Adjustment. I think he's still fun. They got I think they're still putting records up, but they got a different singer. This is Andy on this record, which is he's my fucking favorite. It is great shit.
Nice. Excellent. All right.
All right. So you mentioned peace punk, so I'm gonna go with anarcho crust, hardcore punk. I can put it in a few different categories, but this is Rotten, Fuck Nazi Sympathy. I think a lot of people that watch this actually know this. This is a band from Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, and this is from 1994 and has been repressed numerous times and just celebrated last summer its 25th anniversary. Come on, if you don't have it, it's something you need. If you like this kind of music, it's something you need to have in your collection. And again, it is still available. You can either buy an older copy of it or it is still in press. It is in print. Happy 25-year anniversary to Rotten's Fuck Nazi Sympathy. And again, I don't need to say too much about this. I think it speaks for itself. Good shit.
Well, since you brought up anarcho crust punk, I think I'll bring up Ice Cube's America's Most Wanted. Would be the next thing. This is Ice Cube's first record that he put out after he split from NWA, and he worked with the Public Enemy's Bomb Squad on this, so it has less of a West Coast feel than his other records. And it's nice to remember when Ice Cube was like super pissed off. That was a pretty cool Ice Cube.
And he wasn't in Disney movies.
Yeah, I don't know what happened to that Ice Cube, but we'll always have this. And it's a fucking badass record. All right, go ahead.
Keeping the crust punk
Nice.
shit going. Oh shit, I got the thing upside down.
Nice.
Discharge record. I love Discharge. I know a lot of people do. It's one of my favorites. It holds up to this day. You still see people with Discharge on their jackets now. So yeah, I got this when it come out. It's one of my favorites.
How much does it say? Does it have a price on it? Yeah. So let's see. Pay no more than $3.99. That's $4.
Yeah.
There it is.
Getting a suntan.
There's the Kardashians.
No, their
Still
butts-
timely.
Their butts are too small. Yeah. Look at that hair. That's fucking cool as shit.
You know, I think a lot of people, if people do not
Great
know this
record.
record, but are into underground music and into metal, this band
that
influenced
a
a
lot of
ton
people.
of thrash bands and early death metal bands as
Yeah.
well, not just the punk
And
bands.
people
Yeah.
steal their logo constantly.
Yeah. Yep.
From Discharge.
Bones played
Yeah.
guitar in this band, and he went up on to form Broken Bones, which is another great band. that I like.
Yeah, that's a good one.
I know the guy. He's a great guy. That's it, man.
Great record.
Discharge. And I actually like Grave New World, and I know people don't like it, but
Grave New
I do.
World is one of those records that I think it reminds me of Cold Lake in a way that it's sort of like when a band takes such a departure,
Yeah.
but doesn't necessarily gain the momentum
Yeah.
with the new
Yeah,
style
yeah.
of music that
It
they're
was funny.
playing. Very interesting. to
story
me.
about that, you know, Devil
Celtic
Man?
Frost,
You know
that is,
Devil
too.
Man?
Yeah,
Okay.
Yeah.
Original Nunslaughter guy.
yeah.
I turned him on all my, he was a young kid that lived a couple streets away. Turned him on all the Discharge stuff and all the rest stuff. He used to come sit at eviction practices. He calls me up, he's like, I got the new Discharge. I was like, cool, bring it up. He put it on, I was like, that's not Discharge. He's like, yeah, it is. I was like, no, it's not. Totally, you know, it was crazy. But then I went out and bought it, and I still dug it. I mean, for what it was, you know, I know people hate it to this day, but
Well, okay, cool. And staying with, we all kind of have a theme going on here. Again, we talked about how many genres, every genre has pissed off records, but we seem to be gravitating towards what made us pissed off punks and thrashers and metalheads from back in the day. So, Discharge. So I had brought up Os Rotten before, and the drummer who was originally in Os Rotten, which was Rich Caramadre, before that was in a hardcore punk band called Necrocedia. So this predates the Os Rotten 7-inch, another 7-inch of course. So they were Altoona and then Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, because they moved to Pittsburgh. And this is the Let's Kill the Neighbors 7-inch from 1991. And the song on this, great 7-inch. The song on this, Sick Machine, I think is classic. And everybody should know this song that's into punk rock or hardcore. Lyrics are great. It's a great song. It's menacing. Always having a statement on the world, on society, social issues. Necrocedia, again, Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, by way of Altoona originally. 1991, Let's Kill the Neighbors. Sick Machine is one of my favorite tracks for my pissed off selection.
I know this is Mary's a New York hardcore. I'm gonna go Boston hardcore. Jerry's Kids. I don't know why. Just always love this record. It's just my world. I don't know. It just caught me at a good time in my life and just hit me when I get pissed off. This is definitely one of my favorites. It's just a great record to me.
so next is a band that when I hear, I get pissed off.
Yeah, yeah.
I just want to like punch people in the face.
Rusted Root. Oh, yeah, that's so great.
So, yeah,
I'm
I mean,
sorry.
every time I hear, especially live at a Slayer show, I go fucking ape shit for some reason. I don't think I'm like a possessed or something. I don't know why. It just makes me very aggressive, and I'm not. You know me, I'm not very aggressive, but like it just makes me fucking nuts.
They have the magical formula
Like
to
that
turn
makes-
you from a normal person
Yeah, they make me
to
nuts.
an animal.
They make me fucking an
They
animal.
really do.
So, Slayer.
Wow.
I don't believe in all their dumb shit, but they put a good record.
All right, I'm going back to Pittsburgh, and I'm going with. I still have my little sticker on there. Whatever. All right, Half-Life. Half-Life had a few lineups. Todd also played with Half-Life quite a bit, and we were talking about Jeff. Right there on the back, that's Jeff Lamb, who was the vocalist for Half-Life all the way through their existence. Also an employee at Ides Records. So eventually we're gonna catch up with Jeff and make him talk to us about this, about the good old days. Do we want to call them the good old days? It's good old days for me because I think the stories are great. So this is I Got It Bad and That Ain't Good. And this lineup was Rick, Jeff, Ron Volpe, and Mike Lavella. And the song I Got It Bad and That Ain't Good, the starting riff And the riff that obviously appears through the rest of the song, I just think is great. This is back though with a far less aggressive "Come On Everybody" cover song.
Great song.
So yes, it's a great cover. It's a fun cover, but I Got It Bad and That Ain't Good. Half-Life. Always got to go back to Half-Life 7-inch. And
I
good
have
to put
a
on.
story, but I don't know how true it is about when they were recording that.
All right, I'm gonna pull
Okay,
this up.
let's hear
But I'm not sure. This is what I hear.
There's the
And I heard it from a good source, but somebody might correct me on it.
Okay.
Okay, when they were doing the backing vocals, they kept on hearing something wasn't right. And they were like, what the fuck is going on? Here, somebody that was singing backing vocals was singing it backwards. I got it good and that ain't bad. That's what I hear. And they were like, you're singing it fucking wrong, dude. And it was like, oh. So, that's what I hear. I don't know if it's true.
Yeah.
Well, that makes sense.
So, I got it good and that ain't bad.
We'll have to. We'll contact
I'm
one of the dudes,
pretty
man.
sure.
We can,
Maybe it was,
yeah.
it was either, it might have been Jeff when we were one of our drunken nights and he was fucking with me, so I don't know. Or it might have been Volpe told me. Somebody crazy told me that.
I was actually, you know what? I was watching the eviction video that you guys made. I think right after the record came out. Am I right? And you were wearing the Half-Life shirt, the Goofy Skull Half-Life
Oh, yeah,
shirt.
that was my favorite one.
Which
my
was the
favorite
same
shirt.
shirt I wore on the first in one of the Mythic demo. I was wearing that same Half-Life shirt.
Yeah, that was my favorite
It's a
shirt.
legendary
Yeah.
shirt.
So we'll have to ask Jeff again and see. But then again, if he was joking with you, he might just keep up with the joke.
Yeah, he
I'm
was
just saying,
funny,
you
dude.
know. But we'll be able to find that. I'm definitely listening to it because I didn't catch anything weird about it.
No, I think they
So-
caught it before they had
Oh,
to
okay, all right.
re-record
Because
it.
I was like,
so-
I didn't catch anything at all with this.
Yeah, they were when they were
And
recorded.
produced by
Oh yeah, look at that.
Tom Lyles. Did you know that?
Only because it was on the record.
Yeah. I don't know.
What number you got? 71 of 959.
Yeah. And I actually wait a minute. This copy. Check it out.
Nice.
Nice.
What's the price?
I bought this, and this was $249.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know what? I want to just take it a weird way because, you know, I'm a big George Carlin fan. And I thought as he got older, he got angrier.
Yeah.
And, like, that's one pissed off motherfucker. And, like, when I hear him, you know, I'm not as pissed off as him. And I feel, you know, it makes me feel good. I love that. I love that George Carlin kept his bad attitude deep into his old age. And he didn't give a shit to, you know.
Very
and
intelligent.
I think, you know, I think it's as punk rock as you can get. Right? Am I wrong? I mean, did he not, like, carry it until he died?
Oh yeah.
And he got more pissed as he went along. And
I
I
think-
almost feel the same.
I think he's also sometimes more punk than a lot of
And
punk
this is
is
the
today.
later one. Yeah, and this is like the second to last one. But like he has recordings from like the day before 9/11 that they wouldn't even put out. Like they were shit before he died. They wouldn't even put out. But I'm gonna say George Carlin. This is one of his later ones that he recorded. One of the last ones that were still on vinyl. I think George Carlin is one of our great lost philosophers, and I think that's a still vacant space today. You know what I mean? All right.
One of my favorite bands of all fucking time, right here. The fucking Helicopters. This is the weird version of it.
Yeah, I've never seen that.
Yeah, it's the fucking Man's Ruins edition.
That's got to be tough to find. Is that all the early singles?
That's
What is
the
it?
first records.
Oh, it's the first record.
So,
Nice. Can I have this? Wow, I've never even seen that. And I was
Helicopters, if you like rock and roll, Stooges meets fucking fast rock and roll, you'd love the fucking Helicopters. Everybody knows who they are. If you don't, you don't like rock.
There are people though that love that type of music that don't know that Nicky Anderson, who fronts the band, was the drummer for Entombed.
And wrote a lot
Yeah.
of Entombed stuff.
And Nihilist, and wrote a lot of stuff. So he plays multiple
And he
instruments.
plays in tons of bands now. He's in a death metal band called Death Breath.
Uh-huh.
He's
Yep.
in Imperial State Electric.
Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, if you like fast rock and roll, it always gets me pumped up. I love the fucking Helicopters.
So, this is called Detroit from L7. This was released in 2018 on Easy Action Records, and this is a recording from Clutch Cargo in Detroit from September 1st, 1990. So this would have been L7 on the Smell the Magic tour. And the pissed off song that I'm gonna pick, also a lot of good ones on this, is gonna be Shove. So the first time I ever heard Shove, I was doing college radio at PTS, and it was a Sub Pop single backed with Fast and Frightening, which was a great song as well. And I just kind of carried through my life. I remember it was in Tank Girl, which I thought, wow, that's really interesting. Hollywood knows who, you know, they know the song. Wow, holy smokes, but it fit well. But yeah, so I'm gonna pick specifically the song Shove. This is what I have for my reference material right now, is the 1990 show in Detroit. And I was lucky enough to have seen them on this tour, van tour that they did at the University of Pittsburgh. They played with Cop Shoot Cop. And I believe Necrocedia, speaking of, also played that show. So that was great, and we were blown away by them. So kind of interesting how it went full circle, that this tour 1990, this record 2018, but I saw this tour in Pittsburgh at the university. And Shove, I think also a lot of people that we know that might be watching this are gonna know that song, but if for some reason you don't, you gotta look it up. So all the way from Sub Pop singles going around to being one of their most well-known songs, with good reason. But it's great when you're pissed off, for sure.
They look so
I love
young.
Shit List, too.
I was going
They had
back
a lot
and
of
forth.
great
I was
songs.
going back and forth with it too, and there's quite a few that I think we could pick from L7. But Shove was the first song that I ever heard by them on that single. Fast and Frightening is amazing, but that was the first song that I heard, and it was right next to the turntables at WPTS, so you could just pick it up and put it right on, and yep, and then saw them live, and then fell in love. So
Yeah, they kick ass. Well, you know, there's so many songs that you could pick, right? There's a million songs you could sing about pissing off. But what pisses you off is usually, you know, the personal things, you know. And this is always a favorite of mine. Evil Woman by Black Sabbath. That's the Vertigo copy, you know. And it's a Vertigo picture sleeve. And, you know, cops piss you off, people piss you off, everything pisses you off. Sometimes your girl pisses you off, and you always need songs like that. There's a lot of good songs like that. So I picked this one that I like. So that's about it as far as my pissed off songs. But there's so many.
There's so many.
yeah, do you guys want to throw out any honorable mentions?
Hate the Police by the Dicks. I wanted maybe.
I'm gonna go with Negative Approach, Ready to Fight.
Yeah, that's a
is a
good
great
one.
pissed off song. Practically an anthem.
The fucking fear. I'm a little buzzed now. I don't care about you.
I don't care about you. Be Suburban. You ever listen to them?
Yeah.
Hard for You. That song it always makes me laugh. Like, but you know, there's so many obscure songs. The Electric Eels, You're Full of Shit. I mean, it just doesn't. You know, You Stupid Asshole by the Angry Samoans. You know what I mean? You just sit there and go. I almost play. There's some Prince song, Lady Cab Driver. Always, I like to listen to. You know, reminds me of getting pissed off. You know, there's just so many songs. You know. Mary, you know what time it is?
Max, what time is it?
It's time for Dale's. You know what time it is, Mary?
Can I get a watch?
Yeah. Yes.
Max,
All right, no.
what time is it?
It's time for Tales from the Dead Wax. Look. You know what Dead Wax is, Todd?
Yes, I do.
What is it?
It's the thing after the last track of the record, the
Yeah?
little black space.
Yeah? Well, why would we have Tales from the Dead Wax?
Because sometimes there's hidden messages written.
Hidden messages?
Hidden messages. Well, they're
So
not
you're
really
saying-
hidden. You can see them.
Tales from the Dead Wax. All right. Well, you know what? I've been
Uncle
looking.
Floyd.
Yeah. Stewardesses, 3D House of Stewardesses. All right. So, all right.